The title is Conversations and Memories. Bud is a veteran Marine that has used many of his stories in corporate training sessions. He has coached business professionals on powerful use of self-talk in addition to communication techniques. One lesson that Bud likes to share is that conversations, even with yourself, can create long-term memories that can drive up different emotions. Today, Bud will share a story of a series of conversations and memories that have brought out many emotions within himself. Please join me in welcoming Bud.
Conversations and memories are intertwined. Sometimes it's our memories that are driving up our conversations. Several years back, I was in Washington, D.C., and I decided I needed to have a conversation with a Marine that I had served with. And the conversation went something like this. Hey, Knippel, how are you? Yeah, it's been a while. No, it's not Lieutenant Nickel, it's Major Nickel, retired. Yeah, not quite as lean, not quite as mean, but still a Marine. I guess the last time I saw you was 1983. We had just come back from that deployment in Norway, and I was going up to a headquarters job, waiting for a promotion and transfer. You were going back to 1st Battalion 8th Marines. I remember when we were in Norway, it was you, me, Corporal Adams, the intel clerk. We decided to go ski on that civilian mountain. That looked like it was straight down. No bunny trails, no beginner slopes. And we went, and it was 20 feet fall, 20 feet fall, ski, fall. Not quite the way Marines should be going down the hill. But what was worse was the way those little Norwegian kids, remember those 8-year-olds? They'd come swooshing up to us, look down and go, or whatever Norwegian was for, do you need some help? Or do you need to take some lessons? Well, Knippel, it's good talking with you, but I gotta get going. But there's lots of folks you can have conversations with. Right? There's Master Sergeant Edwards, and there's Corporal Valle. And I was struck. Why were there so many Marines that I knew? I reached in my pocket, pulled out the map. Section 59, Arlington National Cemetery. Beirut bombing victims. October 23rd, 1983, Beirut barracks were blown up. That day will haunt me like December 7th haunts my parents. See, Saturday night, October 22nd, I was here in Kansas City. I was part of the Marine organization that was training reserves throughout the Midwest. And we were here for a conference. Like every good conference, we had a formal dinner Saturday night, and I had many conversations with my good friend, Jim Beam. Matter of fact, I had so many conversations, I don't have too many memories of Saturday night. But our conversations Sunday morning were very subdued. See, in the Marine Corps, if a Marine is killed or injured, they send an active duty officer out to make notification to the next of kin. We, those officers, said we're going to have to go out. So we wanted to get back to our duty stations. So Monday morning, I called in my staff. We went over our procedures on casualty notifications, went over our procedures on funerals, because we would be the ones conducting the funerals. Then I went into my office, hoping and praying that I want to get a phone call to make the notifications. Because 1 year earlier, I had been the commanding officer of Headquarters Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. The battalion that was in Beirut, and the company that was in the barracks. So as the casualty list started coming in, my memories started flooding of how I served with these Marines. Some of the self-conversations when First Sergeant David Battle, hard as woodpecker lips. Master Sergeant Roy Edwards taught me leadership between a senior sergeant and a junior officer. Captain Bill Winters, smart as a whip. His wife got me to get out on the dance floor with her at the last Marine Corps ball. God, I wish she had had a sister. Captain Pete Scalaba. He had my old job. Should I have been there? Would I have been inspecting the guard post that Sunday morning? Could I have prevented it? Corporal James Knipple, my old admin clerk. He and I had deployed to the Mediterranean, and then we had deployed to Norway. Did he have enough overseas time that I could have gotten him a staff job? Did I do enough to help him? Or was I too worried about my own promotion and transfer? When it was all said and done, 241 Marines and sailors died at Beirut barracks. 43 were personal friends. I didn't want to go home that night because I knew waiting in my bachelor's apartment was my old friend Jim, waiting to have too many conversations with me. So I waited another 3 hours. I finally went home. About 11 o'clock, I was on the phone, having an extended phone call with a friend who was giving me sympathy. And the operator breaks in. Beep, beep. We have an emergency break-in for Captain Nickel. It's my operations sergeant saying, Captain, we got a call from headquarters. We have a notification. I said, very well, Gunny. Well, we're just put on that persona, all business. Meet me at the office. So I had to go down to the office, get in my dress blue uniform. He had to get out the official vehicle. I said, sir, Marine Corporal James Livingston, machine gunner. Livingston? Yes, sir. Joseph R. I said, I know he's a machine gunner. He was my machine gunner when I was in Alpha Company. I recruited him to come work for me at headquarters company when I was the commanding officer, to give him a nice staff job. I said, sir, it's worse. He's MIA. So in my mind, I'm having these conversations as I'm going over to notify his 20-year-old wife. Do I give her false hope? Well, he may be out on ship. It may be on a USO tour. It may just be the chaos of the day that we just haven't identified and know where everyone is. In my heart of hearts, I'm thinking his body is still in the rubble. We just haven't recovered it. For 3 days, I had that conversation with her. Yes, we don't know anything yet. You'll be the first to know. There's always hope. We're still trying to account for everyone. For 3 days, I had to have that conversation. When finally I got the death notification, I went over to her house. She walked into the living room, seeing me in my dress blues. We didn't have to say anything. The conversation between my eyes reflected what was in my heart, that her husband was not coming home. My other death notification was a little bit easier, not pleasant, just a little easier. Because Sergeant Gary Randy Scott of Rankin, Illinois, we knew he had died in the initial blast. So there was no 3-day conversations of what if. And his father turned to me and said, Captain Nickel, will you give the military eulogy at the funeral? I said, I'd be proud to. After all, this was going to be one of my first public speaking experiences. Wish I'd had Toastmasters back then. But I was a little concerned. I didn't know Sergeant Scott, so I called friends in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and I got their memories of him. And I worked that into my conversation. I was concerned. Rankin, Illinois is a town of 700. We were having the funeral in the high school gym because 1,100 people were going to be there. And I thought for sure I was going to look up and say into the microphone, God damn, that's a lot of people. Newspaper, Captain Blasphemy's Marine funeral. That would have been the end of my Marine Corps career and the end of my public speaking career. But I finished my conversation with them by saying, Sergeant Scott was a good Marine. We know that because of his meritorious promotions. But he was a good man because of you people here at Rankin, Illinois. You gave him a sense of value, a sense of community, and that sense of value is what made him a better man. President Ronald Reagan is quoted as saying, "Many people go through life wondering if they've ever made a difference. Marines don't have that problem." I end my self-conversations between October and November 10th, the Marine Corps birthday, with this memory. We are Marines, the few, the proud, America's force and readiness. We live at the tip of the spear. And for all Marines, especially Section 59, Arlington National Cemetery, and Corporal Kniffel, Semper Fi, Madam President.